What up, traders? What up, investors? Thank you for joining in. We're getting everything set and ready to go. I appreciate everyone coming out on a wonderful Wednesday evening here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. Having a great time. Gonna be looking at some charts. I had that crazy IPO come up with Snow today. Kind of go through a couple of charts from the Quest tab within the chat window, and just go ahead and look at the overall market. Again, some key sectors were kind of beaten up here. We're seeing a little bit of down-ish in the futures as of right now, and we'll just kind of see how everything pans out, give you some levels, have some great time. And what's up, Makeshift? Hey, Fish, send it. Ryan, how's everyone doing out there? I see Josh joined. Appreciate everyone coming out. Leo, give a little shout out there. Did Josh already? Billy, yeah, we're going to do Chegg for you very first. You came in with that first ticker right off the bat, so I already have somewhat Chegg pulled up and doing a little bit more fib work, and we'll just get in there right away. David, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining. Let's go ahead and get this party started here in a second. Let me just couple the little checks here. Does the sound okay for everyone out there in the internet verse? All right, let's go ahead and get started here. And let me go ahead and make sure I transition. Thanks for the thumbs up there, Ryan. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And now you should be able to see my fantastic charts. And we're just gonna have some fun and just kind of stick to that. And we'll have some kind of cool interactions, and we'll see how this goes. So Billy, you asked about Chegg. Poor Chegg again. We had so much of the overall potential, the vaccine news, a lot of the more positive data coming out today, showing that, hey, the vaccine's pushing. You saw, again, a lot of those like SRNE, INO, and all those other, can't even remember the other potential vaccine plays really coming out and just really just kind of taking off for the potential, again, no one knows. Again, I'm not a doctor. No one's really a doctor to potentially see when a vaccine's coming out or so forth. So I think a little bit too people might be getting a little too hyped up on certain things. I'm always a little somewhat skeptical and waiting to see on how things panned out. That being said, we're looking here about the overall movement here in Chegg. Billy, if you're still on here, let's go ahead and cover this. This thing, again, has been hit quite a bit. Basically, we hit that, let's call it $90 high, and really kind of gave a lot of it back here from this down to the low of about nearly 30%. That's usually somewhat common on a correction. 30% is usually a nice number that the trading gods like. So that being said, we hit down, this is the Fibonacci retracements here. So basically with a swing high, a swing low, and then the high again, we literally hit that marker at $63.51. Again, that was previously there. We hit that marker, kind of bounced here. That being said, we're trying, it looks like it's trying to kind of hold this pattern here around $66.32, but this floor that it's trying to build here, this base, is not very sturdy. We can see here the potential, if this really gives out and we really break below that, basically the 64.50 to 63.50, we can easily come down to 62 and then even down to 757. So if you'd be very mindful when you had that trade in mind, Billy, did you have the potential stop loss, your profitable profit, your targets, and different things kind of broken out yet? This is basically a really key play. This is a huge move down in the last couple days. Now it's kind of just trading sideways here, potentially looking for some sideways action. But if the whole market wants to go back down, this is definitely going to be a potential candidate to get lower. So I'm a little bit iffy on this one. I don't have any positions in this, and I'm a little bit skeptical on trading this one. So that is my opinion on that there, Billy. So hopefully that was helpful for that. Mohar, thoughts on SPOT. So, speaking of SPOT too, so SPOT actually kicked me in the butt today. It came down like to the 220. I had like a 290 or something like that. So 220.90 or something like that I had on a stop loss. It hit it. This is why I should have done it a little bit lower. I was being a little fancy. It took half my position off at that level. My next position was taking the rest off at 200 basically, but that literally bounced super hard here at $220.82. Is this a strong recovery? I'm not sure. Again, as of right now, the overall market in the futures, we're looking here, the S&P 500's down 30.3. Gold's down a little bit, and even NASDAQ is down nearly 0.5%. That's something to write home about. We're used to seeing 2, 3, 4% potentially, but that's not really the most best action we like to see overnight, especially in some of the strong sectors, even since Jerome Powell spoke this afternoon. For this one, so we are seeing those moving averages aggressively point down to the ground, so we could see this action continue to even potentially, again, that 220 is the short-term stop, but we're really looking for 215 and even 200 for some downside support. So that was a very interesting play to really have this kind of level off here. Would love to see it start leveling off here. Potentially tomorrow come in if the bulls want to win, and we need to start seeing it up a 236 and really see the 5 and 8 moving averages and the 21 start curling and start leveling off here. Appreciate everyone coming out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you love to eat popcorn. That just came to mind. I wanted popcorn. Send it. Yeah, options. I wouldn't recommend doing it right off the bat, especially with the choppy market that we have. You can really get kicked around a lot. Let's see here. Amazon and Facebook. So Amazon had me a little bit scared today. Towards the close, had some interesting activity. We broke the low that we previously had, so that's a little bit concerning for me. I'm not extremely long Amazon. I think I'm have some puts I'm selling here around like 3,000 that are expiring like 30 days from now. So it just needs to continue to stay above that. That being said, we can do the same kind of price retracements here, or extensions from the swing high to swing low to swing high, and we're really seeing that potential target. So that 3090 is basically this. So 3090 was a very key level for support. We are kind of in around that range as of right now. If that really breaks, we're looking for 2972, and if that really breaks, we're looking for 2813 to the downside. That is pretty large moves. Again, Amazon is not a small stock. It's still a $3,000 stock, so it's going to be a very fast mover. So it can move hundreds of dollars in a day. That being said, it was down 2.5% today, so it's not the best look for it, to be quite honest, if you're trying to go long. With that being said, we're looking for that potential support to come in around that 3,100-ish, potentially start bottoming here, depending on how, again, this whole week plays out. We do have triple witching on coming out this Friday. Again, that's when monthly, weekly, and quarterly options expire. You usually get a lot of chop in the market, so we could be seeing that on Thursday. That's usually what kind of happens, is the day prior, people are rolling their calls or their puts into the following quarters or months, so that it could be creating a lot of chop. So it's going to be a very key level to kind of see on how the overall market plays out. Not saying basically just going crazy and just buying SPY puts tomorrow. Really have to kind of see on how things play out from that. And then you also said Facebook. So Facebook is another very hot stock, not as beaten up as the other ones we just looked at here. It's kind of making its way back down to the 50-day, which is around 206. 260 potential support here initially. But again, this was down nearly 3% today. A lot of those tech stocks did take a lot of a hit today. So be very mindful of that. Ryan's out there saying buy the dip, YOLO SPY calls. Just FYI, the Ryan, he knows his stuff, but he loves to do a lot of those YOLO plays. So I think he fully understands that. With that being said, we do have the 5 and 8 as well crossing through the 21. So we are considered in choppy territory. If we start breaking below the 50-day, we could be entering more negative territory and the trend really breaking to the downside. Because if we start seeing the 5, 8, 21, and 34 start pointing to the ground, we're really going to be down in negative, not negative territory, but downward trending stock. So that is basically what to keep insightful and being mindful about that. Looking again for that support around 260 and 80 cents to potentially hold. That's basically where the 50 days coming in here. Potentially to see a rebound or a reaction off that to around the 265 to 268. Key levels to start breaking above here would be breaking above the 274, potentially even to 279. Yeah, those are key levels there, my friend. You're welcome, my friend. Ray CJO NVTA. NVTA. I'm not familiar with this stock. What does this do, my friend? This is interesting. I like this. I like this because it's completely doing the complete opposite of what the rest of the market's doing. I missed it because it just had a squeeze and it fired long and it literally hit the 1618. So $40 would be my initial price target. And kind of as of right now, since the squeeze has already fired, we need to kind of see a lot of consolidation around the $33 level. Let's look at the short-term fib here for you. So swing high to swing low. Again, next target potential overhead resistance will be around $41.40. If that can continue that squeeze again, it was only a 4-day squeeze, so that could potentially move this higher to that limit. But initial short-term support is going to be coming around 36 and then all the way down to around 34 to 33.50 for that initial support more to the downside. Let's see here. What's up, Makeshift? GME. Oh, yes. That was definitely one that really got a pretty large move today as well. And I think it was just basically on analyst upgrades, right? It just had a pretty large move on the sense of that, seeing that kind of price hitting that $9. So I just want to fully disclose and look at this. This is a weekly chart of GameStop here, and this has just been a continuous downtrend. We've seen these pops before and kind of fade. I'm not sure this pop is kind of the same feeling or the same potential, but looking for this potentially to could fade, even though I just don't understand that there wasn't a announcement of any kind to present that it could be moving on this levels or vice versa. But initially, that's fine. We're going to be looking here on the weekly chart. I kind of like this a little bit better. Potentially next overhead target would be around $9.60, with the really large in mind around $11.77. Even though since this is not really much of the news here, and earnings was kind of a downpull, I just don't know on what really propelled this higher. So I don't know the business inside and out like I do some other companies, but this one is definitely one that if you're in it, nice move. That's a huge profit in a very short period of time, 22-ish%, 30%. Actually, I think it was got up to 25+% in the day, but that has been a definitely super duper move there. Potential downside support is really going to be coming around the $6.90 and even down back to $9 or $5.93 there. Are you in that, Makeshift? Leverage is fun. Leverage is a lot of fun. With a great power becomes great responsibility there, Send It. Do you have any plays tomorrow? Also, what are you thinking about FTX for the next rest of the week? So, I have FedEx. Like I told you, I think on the other day, I sold my FedEx into earnings. Put my shorter dated calls, but I still have my longer dated calls quite far out. I'm not playing any kind of weekly options anymore. I'm completely out of that. I have my longer dated, I think like 230 and 250 calls all the way out, I believe in next April. Yeah, they're in April. So a little bit further out calls. So I don't have anything short term. As of right now, we had that large move on earnings, and things are looking pretty snazzy here. Usually on earnings, we could get some little bit of consolidation, potentially a small pullback. But my next still on-site target is around 273, even up to $323 there. Go big or go home, full leverage. Ryan. Oh, Ryan. Those were yesterday's where we had PS5's event and no, not sure tomorrow. Oh, really? Okay, we have a Nintendo event tomorrow. Really, that's cool. Always appreciate the announcement. You're welcome, my friend. Don't forget to hit a like. I like Workhorse for trading the channels. It could be a short squeeze, yeah, makeshift. Great. If you're in it, that's awesome, dude. Great return. Oh, you did? Okay. There's a couple people that were posting about GameStop, and then actually GE. A lot of folks were pinging me about GE, and I was like, whatever. Ryan says space looks like crap. Oh, hold on. I missed a couple things. Brian, you have not missed Tesla. Let's go ahead and do Tesla real fast, because that's going to be on everyone's mind, especially with Tuesday around the corner being the huge battery day. We're seeing that again, really strong reshape recovery, potential some resistance here at 438 for support. That overhead resistance would be around 467. If we can bust through that, it's basically open fairway to around 500 there. So for Tesla, initial support to the downside to be around 415 to 414, then some more support around 397, let's call it 400, and then really kind of coming in around the 375, and then we have wherever the 50-day kind of come in previously there as well. Hopefully that was helpful, Brian. Fishes, can you look at silver? I'm thinking a breakout is coming. Let's take a looky little. Yeah, I've been looking at this too. So between silver and gold is kind of trading the same pattern here. Fish, I like this pattern. If this can break out, this can easily hit 30 potentially if it has a lot of momentum behind it. But if it breaks below the 21 and even the 34, if it gets below here and gets really aggressive to the downside or below 23, breaking 23, we could easily come back down to 20. That's going to be a very difficult one to let's see here. I like it. I might add it on my list tomorrow. That's definitely one that could be very, very interesting, without a doubt, especially playing some much longer dated options in this one. Potentially get a nice little pop in this one for sure. I'm gonna look out. Yeah, definitely would be an interesting one to see on how this one plays out. Definitely have to be very careful with some theta decay though. I'm just typing myself a note to descend it. There we go. Thank you for that. It's a good looking selection though, but yeah, this momentum, because again that squeeze is building up. Same with the volumes and also an RSI. If that really wants to compress even more, any kind of break that could easily shoot up to 30 and easily start breaking down below 23. But it looking like it really wants to potentially break out to at least the previous high around 26 to 27, if that can really start getting constrained there. Ryan says space looks like crap lately. Tell me about it, Ryan. It's been not a great overall holding. Again, if anyone knows, I've been holding space ever since this whole huge dip and just bought longer dated calls, sold a little bit here, but then actually bought back in at these lower levels here around $17 for longer dated calls. That being said, this thing has been completely somewhat garbage, but we are having another squeeze setting up here, which is very indication of what previously happened, which was basically here, which was really kind of compressing for quite long periods of time after a large down move, and had this really tight compression and then had that burst higher. That 200 EMA has been super strong here at around $16, $17 to the downside support. If this can really hold this level and have this squeeze get enough momentum to really burst higher, we can easily see 21.83 and $25 in the near term if this can really break to the higher side. Again, I have longer dated calls in this. This would be very difficult to really play because it's going to be very time heavy if you want to be something shorter day. So be very careful on that one, my friends. Joe, thank you for all you do. You're welcome, Joe. I enjoy what I do. Brian says Gay Bear. Better day soon. Yep. That's for sure. I'm going to grab some calls tomorrow on that. You are, it's just be on silver. Yeah, I think that might be a good. I have to look at, maybe give it some little bit of time. What up, Blue? Thanks for coming out. Tesla is screwed. That's how you make it sound. Hopefully, pullbacks. Pull, pull. Wait. Hopefully, it packs back up tomorrow. I didn't say Tesla's screwed. I'm actually extremely long Tesla, so hopefully it didn't sound right. More stimulus is coming. I hope so. Russ is saying, is that Norwegian Cruise Line? NCLH. Of course, Norwegian Cruise Lines, the airlines, really had a pretty large move today. Looking for, again, the stock used to trade $60, and I don't know the industry through and through. So if they're going to be potentially looking for, actually, let me do this real fast. I forgot I added this, so I got my bear dance for the old. Not saying it's a bear stock, but it's definitely something to look out for. It's been bearish on the all the way down, and basically looking for some consolidation here. It could potentially hold. I'm sorry, I had to do it. It was just too funny. To hold this pattern here to the downside, looking for potentially, again, really support building. If you have a much longer term mindset, I don't think the cruise lines are going anywhere, but it's not really my potential favorite thing to be investing in. I'm more in high growth and things like that. But this is definitely looks like it really wants to hold potentially around the $17 to $16 price target. That being said, we're really waiting on for that overall vaccine stuff to really come out. And what I hear and what I've read about Norwegian and Carnival Cruise Line is saying, hey, there are so many bookings, it's just we can't do it right now. And I think just kind of a crappy business right now to be in. Ryan says I'm the type of guy to buy bonds for their kids today. No, I'm the one who buys the little bonds for maturity. I pay $50 and 20 years you might get 25-30 cents on it. Dan, is Apple screwed too? Apple's just in a weird purgatory thing. Like, again, not. I think a lot of people are just so used to just stocks going up constantly. This is what happens in like a choppy kangaroo market. Like, this is not unnormal. Like, we're really looking for some support around 108 to 109, and just be mindful. We have triple witching this week, so there's gonna be a lot of just chop this week, which we talked about on the Sunday live stream of like, hey, get ready for chop. It's going to be choppy all week, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So nothing too out of the ordinary yet. Ryan says, Doc, you. With Doc U, this has been really a roller coaster here as well. It had that huge move actually pre-earnings, and of course gave a lot of it back due to the fact of the NASDAQ pullback, the overall run-up in those again, those high growth SaaS companies that have been doing very well since the pandemic and really kind of potentially holding here around 200. It's a nice round number. Potentially looking for some support here. The momentum's really kind of dragging it down because we've seen some damage going here. We want to see that 5 and 8 moving averages potentially start curling and trading sideways and leveling off here. But this action could be potentially pushing us down. So I kind of want to do this retracement here to kind of look at this. I don't think I have run this yet. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. It's kind of like in La La Land here, basically in like the weird upside down world, not really making too much sense. It's kind of just attracted here to the 55 EMA on my charts. Again, that's around the $200 price target. I'm not seeing anything too spicy here to potentially for some support, because again, if this really breaks, we're looking for some potential support. Let me actually pull up this chart. Yeah, so potentially support around 180 to the downside. And then let me look here on the daily. So yeah, support around 190 and then that 180. Yeah. So 180 is basically 178, 180 is going to be a support level to the downside. So be very mindful of that. And that kind of is some potential support resistance because again, it's in a very dangerous zone. Ryan says also Workhorse. Yeah, that's definitely one that has been popping and locking. Workhorse. I don't know. It looks like something here. It looks like something here. No, the potential movement on this one again is there's just so much expectation wrapping up for the potential of that postal service deal, not the band. We're talking about postal service. This is about the potential U.S. Postal Service you replacing the fleet with the folks here at the Workhorse, with this potential deal being bringing in billions of dollars to this company. That's good enough though. The company actually does sell other products to other customers, so they actually have an ongoing thing, not like Nikola. But I kind of like this one. I think I'm still in it. I think I sold some of it because I did a video on it and I saw some very interesting long-term options activity, and I actually purchased the same kind of spread. This thing has been slowly running up, potentially some overhead support coming in at $28.80. Downside support short term is going to be around $22.90, and then some more support at $20.86. Ryan says the next one he wants to look at is Fastly. And I spelled that wrong. Fastly, again, one of those SaaS companies really just kind of coming out here. We are having a very interesting pattern setting up here. Actually, I look at this little, I actually have to update this right here. There, some support kind of coming in here between 83 and 81, 88, 25 to the 80. Basically, let's call it $80 to around 82.34 potential support. We are having a squeeze setting up. What I kind of like this pattern is we're seeing some downside volume. RSI is kind of just flat, and volume zone oscillator as well. But the trend is trying to stop here. We are seeing a lot of resistance here. We've seen pretty large moves from this level before. So if we can really potentially stay above those levels here and get a really spike up higher with this squeeze firing, we could be looking for potentially next overhead resistance be basically $90, then 95, and then $100. We've seen that potential pattern work out before. We have failed here basically at the $100 level. So be mindful of that, Ryan. Okay, chat's really picking up. Thanks, folks, for everyone coming out. Just throwing a few out there. Thank you, Ryan. John R., we just did the old one. I think I'm falling behind here. When the new phone comes, Apple stock will move. Yeah, I think so, Fish. Like, I don't know how far behind they are on that. Ron saying, what about ZTS? What is that? I have no idea in God's green earth what this is. Zoetites? I don't know what is this. This is interesting. I like the chart. Let me give you one of these. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm sorry. You guys are going to be seeing those emojis some more. I'm going to be adding these randomly through the stream. Just be very careful out there. If you don't like them, I would leave immediately. With this one, just in the short-term options here, or short-term Fibonacci retracement here, we're looking some potential overhead resistance at 162, short-term support coming out at 160, and then some more support coming at 160.73, and then 159-ish to the downside. But this squeeze is setting up and looking pretty attractive here. The only thing we need to see is the RSI is above 58.60 almost. That's good. What is the weekly chart? Yeah, this looks really strong. What does this company do? Who requested this? Animal Pharma. That's Ryan. You read me like a book. Yes, I've been waiting all day for that. I thought of you when I played that one. Boomer memes. Hold on. Dumb and Dumber is a classic. I love it. Yeah, Animal Pharma. Yeah, I think I'm not too familiar with the animal pharmacist or pharma companies, but this thing looks fairly interesting, and it's kind of been a steady eddy here, just continued to grind higher here. So yeah, really love that momentum with that squeeze in place. It could really fire higher. We had that squeeze here previously on some tight consolidation and brought it up a little bit here. But yeah, if you're in this is a nice move here. If it continues to literally to stay above that 158 and even up to 150, because that trend has been very strong to you here as well. Makeshift DBX. I might have missed some people. The chat windows is moving. Oh, DBX. There we go. Oh, the Dropbox. This is a hard one. I think I told you this story already. Makeshift. This one has been one that's kind of been literally just traded sideways for years. And you can literally look at the chart here. For the past 3 years, it hasn't really done much. It just kind of gone down a little bit. And now even recently hasn't really done much of anything. With this one, let me update the chart here. Please, thank you. With this one, really looking for some potential support here at 20. If that really breaks, we're looking for lows below 19. For $20, we're looking again, that trend is going lower. Look, all those moving averages are kind of pointing to the ground here, Makeshift. So be very careful on this one. We do have a squeeze setting up, but we have just so many crossovers to the downside. We're below the 200 EMA, we're below some of the larger time frames, but this is really just signaling a lot of red lights here on the sense of a potential large move. I just don't know which direction. Because there could be, this is a really strange pattern because it looks like there could be a potential buyout around the corner here, because this thing looks fairly just a very strange pattern in the volume that we're seeing here. John R. Yep, that is a very good thing about it. Again, the stock market is somewhat connected to the company, but again, it's a lot tied to the psychology of how humans trading it. Let's see some other gifts. I don't have too many. I've only programmed a couple. I'm going to be adding a lot more though, Ryan, just for you. Yeah. Sebastian says FTCH. What is FTCH? Farfetch. What is this? I never heard of this. Fairfetch. What does this do? Looking some again at a looks like a nice gap up on the quarter, but then gave kind of a lot of it back. Looking for that potential support kind of coming here at the 55 EMA around 24.34. Want to look at this. This thing was a large move higher. Is this that clothing company, Sebastian? For that move, really kind of potentially to hold here at the 55 EMA here. But we do have some damage done between the 5 and 8. I've already crossed through the 21 and still somewhat pointing to the ground. What we need to start seeing is these ticks starting to get smaller and starting to trade sideways more, because again, you're seeing those moving averages, the 5 and 8, which is the yellow, the white and the purple, and even the yellow are starting to point to the ground, indicating further downward trending target. So it's kind of in chop right now, but if it starts getting below this key level around 23.50, we can easily see some lower lows, and we're going to be looking at those potential levels. Like this chart right here just kind of dictates on the overall trend here. It's really just kind of pointing to the ground, kind of poopy. So we're going to give it the old bear dance there, looking like it's going to be potentially some bear. So I do not like that one as of right now. But it needs to hold some particular patterns to kind of see and kind of prove itself to me. That one there. ZTS. Did we just do that one? Yeah, ZTS looks like it definitely would be a nice move. So I kind of do like that. We can kind of give that that move there. Dan's. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Alexander? How you doing? PRPL. What is going on with that? I think it's just kind of lost its favor. I'm sorry, lost its relative to the movement here. It's kind of doing a potential retracement here, because we've seen that swing high to swing low. Key level where it wasn't able to really break through is at 23.65. I don't know, is there any news on this one? Purple closing its secondary public offering of Class A common shares, fully executed underwriting. So there some shares are going public to the market. So that's where it kind of potentially created that little downtick here of nearly 5%. Usually people that just really kind of add some really just kind of dilute some of the shares out there. So depending on what they offered it at, and different vice versa like that could draw it down. That's but we're seeing here. It didn't break below the 50 percentile move, which is around $22.40 basically. That's going to be the next short-term downside support, and the next one after that would be around 21, and then the next one is going to be at $19.55. That's also where those parabolic SAR dots are coming into for some support to the upside. This one still looks like it wants to potentially high fly, but that downward move kind of scared a lot of people away there. Dan says, oh shoot, my thing just updated again. Dan says, can you mention the name of the stock that you were charting a few times during your analysis? It's too small to see the ticker, so sometimes I miss which one you're doing. I don't know which one you're talking about. We're doing ZTS. We did Fitch. It was FTCH. And then we did, what else did we do? We did Dropbox, which was DBX. So I'm not quite sure which one you were looking at. Send it saying I'm adding ZTS to watch list. So Sebastian, whoever mentioned that was awesome. All in those one pieces, buying the flop and buying them on eBay. I wonder how much. Do people still make a lot of profit off of those? Just buying in bulk or trying to buy in bulk and just potentially. I thought they kind of hindered that due to the fact of people are only to purchase like one device at a time now. But I guess wrong, because didn't the Switch have a crazy fire sale like that? The one, what's up? How you guys doing? It's an online retailer. Okay. I think I've heard that one before. Someone mentioned it to me. Uber quick flip in the morning. Yeah, what did Uber do today? It was kind of failing out of some key levels, but then what happened? Okay, look, it's still trying to break above that $38 range. Really looking for that momentum to continue potentially. On the weekly side, we are having a squeeze setting up here, which we didn't have a squeeze here previously on this move. So if this can really continue and get this momentum higher, we can really see some potential breakout to potentially the $41.86 to the upside. But downside support initially is going to be around $35.84. And then back down to around the 21 EMA, which is around $34.37 there. The one, I like it. TPR over Fitch, in my opinion. Rag says the bear dance. Ryan, you know who the bear dance is for? It's for Mr. Bear in our chat. When I started, I gambled a lot. Yes, that everyone does that, Fish, when they first start. They think they know everything. I know a lot of people who have much more than 250K at their disposal and they still ruin their account a lot. I've seen some pretty terrible accounts. We haven't looked at any airlines yet, but we can kind of cover jets. We can look at jets here as well, and kind of play with that one. All right, John, see you later. So Jets is basically the ETF that covers all the airlines. We had a large move today kind of coming in. Let me get rid of some of these lines here. This is pretty cray-cray. Potential support here at overhead resistance at $19.27. We almost hit that tick today and looking for this potentially to continue going higher again. This is, again, highly driven on the overall momentum of vaccine and all the overall potential of reopening the economy and just potentially having a, I think, you can't believe anything comes out of Congress or anything out of the political. Again, I live right down the road from DC, and it's a little toxic always there on what they say and do is two different things. So you never know what they're going to be coming out with. But with this one, potentially looking for some overhead resistance, but really short-term support around $17.90, and then even down to even the 50-day was around $17. So be mindful of that. David says, thoughts on Play, please. Yeah, Play definitely got a nice mood today due to the fact, again, those vaccine stuff, reopening economy. This thing has been a really beaten down stock with Dave and Buster's here, basically hitting that overall trending 144-day moving average here, looking for that potential kind of consolidation here. Potentially, if we can get that more momentum and higher volume coming into the stock with more larger volume, we could easily see $21 come in, but that needs a lot of momentum to really carry that. Short-term support is going to be kind of coming in at the 21-day, which is around $17.13, but then all the way down to like the 50-day was around $14.78. So be very mindful of that. Tesla's always a little scary, isn't it? I thought I was gonna be. It's funny how it's gonna be. Brandon was the first one who said snow. Yes. So if anyone hasn't caught the live stream that we did earlier today to kind of cover the overall snow IPO, we have to kind of go to a very short daily chart. And the one thing that we did not see very well, which was I wanted to highlight, and I think I downloaded it right. Hopefully I did. Hang on. I think I did. Yep, here it is. So during the live stream, we had a super large order come in on the. Let me zoom in, enhance. We had a large order at 240 at 13.18. So again, the stock was open for about 2 minutes previously, but then if we can kind of give it again, we had someone short or sell 400 or basically 45,000 of these shares at basically $240, and that really just dropped it. That was a huge large move right about here, and it didn't had a little bit of hard time recovering. Basically that was right about this limit here, and just took it substantially lower. But again, was that the bottom? It kind of was, because again it went a little bit, couple points lower, because it just took everything out, and now we're seeing that really strong movement higher. We did the fibs here from the swing high to swing low. Again, this is a 1 minute chart, and it literally just held between the 265 and then 275, and just continued to just trade sideways. Now in after hours trading, it's kind of holding that 250 range. But like I said during the stream and all this kind of stuff, that I'm like, hey, it's not going to be anything that I want to touch with a 10-foot pole. It's just a little bit too lucrative, too far out there, and a little bit too much FOMO momentum about it. So I just can't touch it. So that's definitely going to be a coin flip. So we're going to do this one here to potentially see if it's a coin flip. So it's just going to be pissing people off and just being plain like that. So I just don't want to touch that without a doubt. Yeah, Snow was crazy without a doubt. Leo, Yelp, is Yelp the ticker symbol? Is it just Yelp? I used to trade this thing all the time. Is it Yelp? Yeah. Of course, Yelp. I think Google kind of just put a nail in its coffin, and this one just doesn't look very pretty here. Even it's failed here multiple times here on the 200-day, and just not been able to get above it here. Just not a very pretty looking stock here to the upside. I'm going to put some alerts here. I'm going to replace these here. Looking for this again, potentially. It's trying to build a bottom here around the 22-ish range, 22.63, but it's in kind of sloppy here, not really performing that well for that move to potentially get up to 25. And looking like it's potentially, I don't even know what's going on at Yelp and how they're able to reignite their overall use case. But yeah, I don't know too much about the fundamental side. The chart doesn't look too pretty though. Sebastian says, what's up with INO? Of course, INO is a pharmaceutical company, right? That's my thing. That's right. That, of course, everyone and their mother, anyone who ever has talked about making a pharmaceutical or a vaccine or anything like that, it went up today due to the fact of that, and really seeing that move higher to around $18.33, hitting that potential resistance here. Again, we're up 35% in one day. That's absolutely insane. Welcome to the pharmaceutical company trading. You have large swings up and large swings down. It's basically just like flipping a coin and seeing how it looks out. I don't like to trade these. I don't like to touch these. They're just a little bit too crazy, especially with the overall vaccine news. It's more of a coin flip on which one's going to be performing, which is going to make money. I don't know how they're going to be able to make a huge amount of profit on it, because there's going to be so many people like, hey, you're going to have to subsidize it, because again, we're going to give it to literally everyone in the world potentially. Yeah, I like the overall NVIDIA to ARM acquisition. I think NVIDIA took a little just trading sideways due to the overall tech sell-off, but I think it's still in some pretty good condition. Nice, you're listening to the snow. Yeah, snow was definitely a crazy day. Farmer Bros. Yeah, remember the what's the guy, Margaret Scarelli, who's in prison still, actually. Let's see here. I saw one report mentioning China would get involved. Well, I think China has to approve of the arm deal, correct? What do you think about BMRN? I've never heard of that. BMRN. MRN. Always down to new. Oh, another pharmaceutical stock. Never heard of this one. This one looks terrible. Really, I think it looks like it did some work on this one. This kind of came up before. Huge swing lower on some kind of, I guess, a failed trial or something bad happened. One of the chimps got out or something. Looking for some potential consolidation around that $75 range. We are seeing that kind of come through. We are seeing the moving average starting to curl over. So this could be a potential starting to bottom here. We are seeing a first day squeeze setting up. RSI is kind of coming back from the depth. Same with volumes on oscillator. On the weekly side, it's looking like it's potentially looking at the Chaikin money flow got extremely beaten up. That's again with a lot of institutional and larger investors buying into that. This could be bottom here on $75, but I would keep this on a very short leash because this has taken on a lot of damage. And again, I don't know the full extent of why it happened. So I don't know if it was because the chimp got out and it spread a virus or whatever, but yeah. What do you think about apps, Dean? Yeah, I haven't looked at that one in a little bit here. Holy moly guacamole. That's a great looking stock. I was on my chart here, honestly. I'm not going to lie with you. I had it around 25, but I didn't have the cojones to buy. I was thinking of more of like this kind of scenario of it holding it more, but I didn't have the fortitude and honestly I didn't have the balls to really buy it to potentially get that move higher because again that overall tech sell-off came on. I don't honestly know on what apps really does an inside out of their business. So yeah, if you're in that, that's a great move. It had that squeeze, a lot of volume came in, popped up higher, broke well past the short-term price targets, really hitting that initial target around $31.50. If it can run even more, would be looking for some $34.05 basically. But this has been a very large move, just being up 12% today, potentially looking for some sideways action to come in. Short-term support going to be coming in basically around the $30 and then down around $26.79 and then all the way down to around $25 to the upside. But if this thing really wants to run, we're looking for around $34 and even $41 in the short term. That is a great looking stock though. I'm very upset that I missed it. I'm crying inside now. Thoughts on Snap? Ugh. Snap. That's kind of. I had a trade idea for this one. It shook me out. Now it kind of came back into play. I didn't take it. It was holding that $22 price target. Had that squeeze come back into play after it fired, then came back to squeezing with a large momentum down. Still held, never broke below the initial downs previously. That was like a week prior. Pushed higher, broke through all the key levels. If it can stay above $24.45, we can easily see $25.50. If this move really wants to continue, we're really looking for the price target around $28.50 to the upside here, my friend. Right. One of the chips got out. Ken of 2020. Ken of 2020. I want to buy Nikola Lee put so bad, but for some reason my gut is telling me to stay away because I have a feeling GM might just take over and save them. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Nikola with a 10-foot pole unless you literally know without a doubt that, again, a lot of things can be said, but I'm going to be doing this all day on Nikola. I can honestly never really recommend it after all the stuff that was said, and they really haven't seen the best retort to all their allegations and all this fun stuff. And ever since day one, I haven't really trusted a lot of things they do say, and I don't believe in the technology because, again, are they doing anything something special than Tesla hasn't done or tried? Like I feel it a little strange, and And I know they're trying to change the world, but I think it's they did it in the wrong way, and they're going to really kind of taint the overall industry and a lot of people who are trying to do good things. So I'm a little hesitant on the old Nikola, even telling people to short it. I know a couple people in my literally my physical friends, I sound like a robot. The people that are not the fantastic people on chat or in Discord or all the fun of the folks that I talk to on a daily basis via chat or even just via my voice, are like, hey, Ken, I'm buying 30 puts tomorrow. They're printing. I'm like, yeah, they're going to print for a little bit until whatever, and they're going to get a huge flush. And again, that's exactly what we saw on Monday. It had that huge run up. I mean, basically, it was a large move, and now we're just kind of seeing that chop. I'm calling the support basically around $30. If it really wants to break below that, we have taken on a lot of damage. That would be looking for the next price target around $26 to the downside. But I think this $30 could hold for the short term. So I'm not really going too crazy short at the moment. For me to go short on something, I have to be pretty sure about it, and I have to kind of bet my bottom dollar on it. Ken, what kind of supercar are you going to be rent for your 10K special? No supercar, Ryan, for me. I might just gif one into my chat. Yeah, Jets has definitely been making a nice move higher. I don't think Nikola has a chance as well, but I just don't want to. I don't like to short. It's very difficult because again, there's going to be a lot of built up tension in it. I just don't want to touch it. I just don't know what Nikola has for GM to own. Like, what's the technology there? The trucks look somewhat cool, but I think Tesla trucks look better, and even the other trucks that I've seen that look better than that. But that's whatever. Dick saying Dicking is going crazy. I should have bought some more shares. RIP. Hey, if you're in it, that move has been great up to 50. Like I held that for I thought I held it way back when, sold it at 32. Thought I got out of it, and then it crashed some more, and I was like, why is this red? And it just hurt me some more in the end. Yeah. Shout out to physical friends. uh Sometimes you just don't know what you're saying, especially with my blabbermouth. I enjoy doing the live streams more than actually doing videos because I get to interact with the folks, so I like that a lot better. Ton Van Horn says, I bought 2 October 35 puts. Yeah, I think you give yourself a little bit of time, but just be very careful with that. Blue saying, any thoughts on Zoom? What's up, Blue? With Zoom, whew, what a move, eh? What a move there. Really having that large move. Again, earnings, huge gap higher. Came back to the 5 and 8 moving average and just continue to just literally work and grind higher here. We're looking for that initial break here, potentially around 450, 446, if we can get any of that momentum going. But this chart looks like super strong. Like to the downside, short-term support is really going to be coming in around that 8 EMA around 390, and then next support's going to be around 357, 356. But since we kind of filled this gap just slightly, we did miss it by, let's see, 340, like $15, $16 there. That could be enough to potentially fill that, but that's going to be a difficult one. This thing has just been running so much. On the weekly side, this is, I can't even look at this chart. This looks super hot. Just in the short term Fibonacci retracements, we're looking for, if it can break it above that 427 and then again that 450 range. If the target wants to continue, we're looking for basically 513 within the old zoom there. Alpaca, I have Jets for way out, way out for Jets and some longer dated calls. Yeah, exactly. Makeshift. Nothing. Nikola doesn't really have anything. They just have a really good sales guy that can sell anything, really. They're more hip. What do you think about Piton, David? Piton. Oh, what? P. No, N, not M. This has made it somewhat of a strong recovery again. We had that really strange. Someone cutting their grass at flipping 10 o'clock at night. That's an airplane. Okay, so you guys hear that? Holy moly! It's like a. It's a helicopter. Okay, that was like a police helicopter was flying by. Sorry, that got super distracted me. With earnings, had a huge drop, bounced off the 21 EMA, kind of consolidated here. This trend is still wants to continue going higher. We're looking for some short-term support around $79, $78. I have a target around 77 below, potentially even down to 75, where those parabolic SAR dots are kind of coming in. But this one still looks like the trend is wants to continue going higher, even though a lot of people just jumped ship. But I think that the cat's out of the bag, and this is definitely going to be one where it's going to be potentially like a zoom. Kind of has already been a zoom with this large move and just continuing grinding higher. Dan says Adobe earnings posted. Now, what do you think? I think Adobe did well right on the earnings, but I don't know what happened with this large move down. Like, I just it was just some like I just don't know. Like if this was some kind of like a whale kind of trading scenario where just someone just kind of came in and just kind of manipulated some stock or whatever. Like this was a huge sell off, and we look here on the chart is basically like right at like that like a little after like 230. It literally dropped like from 288 all the way down to 275, and that since into the close. And I really that's a little scary pattern. It didn't break low below the previous couple of days or weeks, so the trend is still intact. It just doesn't look very. It's kind of scary to be quite honest with a large red candle like that. I don't remember that playing out like that before. Usually, Adobe is a pretty solid stock. Even though again it hit that 505 level and just really gave it right back, which was initially what we talked about on the Sunday live stream. But now looking for potential support kind of coming in on that 34 EMA, where it's actually currently at around 475, 476. Initial's next support will be around 470, and then all the way down to around 458. So Adobe is a very fast moving stock though, and it usually it's very aggressive to either side. So be very careful out there on that one. Adobe stock split would be awesome. Yeah, I think that would. I would love someone to buy Adobe, but I think it's look out red too much. Rav says ALXN. I was just, what car should I rent, Ryan? For maybe I should rent like a motorcycle. I have my all my physical friends talk about motorcycles all the time. My brother has a motorcycle license, in California. My uncle's got a motorcycle license. I should get a motorcycle. You know what I would do? I would buy like a Vespa, and I would I would go right up and get my pizza from my favorite pizza joint down the street, and get my little Vespa, get my pizza. That's what I would do for my. That's what I. That's what I'm gonna do for my 10,000 subscribers. Anywho, that being said, before we go on crazy here, this another pharmaceutical company, usually not my favorite cup of tea here. I'm really jabbering today. I'm sorry, very talkative. That being said, we're seeing from the swing high to swing low, a lot of key levels here. Really key level around $113 and then $116.88. We've seen some previous stops here around that 120, 119 level. I'm not seeing any squeeze indicating here, but we do have squeezes on the longer dated side. So we're seeing this move here. Overall trend is still kind of below the 200 EMA. That 200 EMA is kind of coming around that 219, 220 level. If we can get any momentum and the squeeze does fire higher and gets a little bit more wind in its sails, we could easily see it above 121 to 127. But looking at what previous happened at the failing here, basically at the 200 EMA multiple times, on the weekly side, we could easily come back down to around 106 to 110 there. So be very careful on that one, because again, it's a pharmaceutical company. Did I miss anything? Hey Ken, what do you think about UPS? I was thinking to buy some OTC 30 calls, hoping to play the earnings run up. Yeah, so if with FedEx really just killing earnings, I'm pretty well large play in FedEx. So UPS kind of the same basis. I think UPS definitely has a lot more room to run as well. I don't see when earnings is coming out on this guy, but this definitely has been high flying without a doubt. This is looking super strong here. Let's see if I can. It looks like earnings could be potentially coming out the 22nd of next month. So it's all the way out in October. A little bit too early to call it an earnings run for me. But potentially if it can stay above that 157, even down to 155, this trend is very much intact. We do have a squeeze indicating here. If this could get any kind of momentum or anything going, we can really see that pop above 167 to 170. Again, we hit an all-time high today because of FedEx earnings report as well, in the same category, and performed super well, and really saw that momentum really kick its overall price substantially higher. So that was a great little movement there going forth. I'm seeing so many comments about the snowflake stuff on my other one here. One second. Let's see here. Nice, I see that. Thank you. Okay, my thing just updated again. Sorry about that. Zuck the alien. Ryan saying SNE. What's SNE? Is that the sale? Oh, Sony. Okay, Sony's still in that box there, Ryan. Kind of holding around that 55 EMA here, and just kind of trading in this purgatory box. Nothing too really concerning, because the RSI and volume zoner is really just kind of in la land and just kind of trading sideways. So this is basically going to give it the old hold here for potentially holding in that potential pattern here on that purgatory box. But if this can really start breaking out above that box and have the 5 and 8 aggressively cross through the 21, we can easily see that $80 price target, with the target of being around $87 to the upside there. Of course, with the overall movement going forth. Rent a Nissan GTR. Okay. I am actually excited for the Unity IPO. I'm very interested in. I actually like. I know. Well, if people don't know, I work at a software development company, and a lot of the devs that I work with do a side hustle, and they make games for Unity, and they have this really cool like ad sharing program. So a lot of good stuff about it. The way people drive, I would never own a motorcycle. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. But a Vespa, though. You just want to go. I live in a town where I can just drive my little Vespa, get my pizza, get my little Dr. Pepper. I haven't drinking soda for a while, so Dr. Pepper is a treat for me. All right, chat's updating here. Sorry, 1 second. Ken, what do you think about our ES right now? It seems red. Yeah, it's definitely red. It's down nearly 1%. The only concern here was basically looking for that we really kind of failed here at that 3,000, let's call it 3,400, basically, which was basically 21 EMA. We have not really been able to get above it. So it's the little bit of that concerning that we're talking about there. We did have a lot of those tech stocks potentially hitting lower today again, because we saw the Amazon, we saw the Apple, we saw AMD, and all these folks really printing lower. Again, this week is triple witching, so we are talking about we could see some chop in the next couple days, especially Thursday, and then have a very strong recovery coming into Friday. So depending on how this all goes, we're definitely going to be looking at potentially doing another live stream tomorrow or Friday, depending on what folks want. And remember that on Sunday, we're not going to be having the traditional live stream because I'll be away, and actually probably might be, I don't know if I'll be driving at that time, but it'd be somewhat, I won't be incapacitated, not in that way you think of drinking. I'm not an alcoholic drinker, but this being said, with the ES being kind of down at these levels, I wouldn't say it's like concerning. If we start seeing some levels, I don't know why this, I can't stand how Thinkorswim cannot make these charts stable when they're trying to twitch here. So SPY, we're looking for some support basically around 337 tomorrow, so $337. Potentially even support kind of coming at 333 to the downside. Those are going to be my targets. If those really break, we could see some further downside well below that to around 325 and then 313 all the way to the downside there. So with this movement again, it's the wrong thing to do, is completely just jump out and just completely sell everything. Like we talked about this before. Again, we have triple witching, so there could be some chop, it could be a lot of movement. So if we have a crazy day tomorrow that's within reason, and reason of being maybe 1% or 1.5%, maybe even 2%, that's somewhat reasonable. But we would need the following day to kind of give some of that back, or a little bit of portion of that back. Again, that's that really movement of witching. Can code a trading bot? I should. You get a soda stream. Thank you guys for still coming out. Hey Ken, if you were forced to go all into a mid-cap tech stock for 2 months, which one would it be? Forced to. What do you mean by mid-cap tech? Like what are you talking about? Mid-cap tech. If you forced me to put anything in my money into anything for 2 months, look, I kind of just leave it at that. I don't know what you mean by mid-cap stock. Let me give a quick little peruse. This one might be strange. I'm looking through my watch list real fast. I think I'm gonna go everything in Nikola. No, I'm just joking. Anything for the next 2 months? I had to put everything in there and not touch it. That's too much, man. That's too much pressure. And I couldn't touch it for 2 months. I'm going to be a conservative and just play it safe. I would put it like in Bank of America. No, I'm actually joking. Not really. Um, uh, Mid cap tech. I don't know. That's hard for me. I can't think on the spot like that. I'm sorry, my friend. I want to play the game, but I can't. It's not as bad. It's just like just a lot of potentially movement, a lot of chop. Disney, thank you. I would put my money in Disney. Like Andre knows me. See, that's basically that's not tech. It sort of is. It is. They got the streaming service, and they got the Mandalorian. A te- a tech stock. What about? I did like Zillow, but that really popped today a lot. Um, that's a loaded question. That's a very good answer there, Alexander. Boris says GLD long. So with that, so GLD, I'm actually, I think Fish is still in there. He had a good move here at definitely at silver was a very tight consolidation. Oh, Boris, thank you for the $5, man. Keep it up and work, my guy. Thank you. So with GLD, we're seeing some tight consolidation here. Even with the potential chop that we're seeing currently in the market, we really need to see above 185 to see that movement really kick us higher. But we are seeing some tight consolidation here, which is a very interesting pattern to say the least. Let me move my desk down real fast. There we go. My electronic desk. With this really kind of choppy here around 185, you're seeing that squeeze potentially setting up here, volume zone oscillator and RSI. So anything with the RSIs above like 55 or 60, and things are starting to get a little bit positive on volume zone oscillator. If we get any kind of movement, GLD can start flying. In the short term, we can look at some key fibs here, basically looking at that potential support level at 186 to 188 to the upside. If this really wants to get moving, we can hit to 191. But again, that's going to be to the overall extreme of what the rest of the market does. Doesn't mean if the S&P 500 crashes, the gold's going to go flying higher. But that is definitely not out of the question. But GLD, and even though I don't know if you were there to look at the old silver, is kind of that same kind of pattern, very tight, have that squeeze setting up as well. I think Fish, if you're still on there, great looking chart. Thanks for pointing it out. If this can really pop well above that 27, we can easily see 30. If we get below the 24.50 to even 23.50, that could go to the downside to potentially the $20-ish level. So, Boris, thanks for the kind words and the $5. I greatly appreciate. John says Dell. Dell, honestly, Dell is kind of doing kind of well. I looked at that chart the other day, this weekend. That chart does look good. And I think you kind of just took the answer out of my thing. So I kind of like Dell here. If it could stay above $64, it's nothing sexy. It's not a Tesla or anything like that, but it looks like it's continue. Wasn't Dell supposed to buy like VMware or something like that? Was I daydreaming that? I think I was. With that movement again, we're seeing that 5 and 8 moving averages being pretty aggressive here. Downside support coming around $64. This is ticker symbol Dell, which is DELL, with that move potentially going to $74.66. Again, that is a nice little move while the rest of the market's kind of going down. Yeah, I think John, you basically that's a good bet. I think so. Andrew's saying Nvidia. Let's take a look at the old Nvidia. How did that close today? only down nearly 4%. Kind of bouncing here off the 21 EMA on the short term, but this really doesn't do it justice because you really have to look at this all the way out here, what previous has seen in the market here within the old NVIDIA. Again, pretty large moves to the upside here. Really kind of been trading, kind of hitting that 21 EMA multiple times. If we get another larger tech sell-off, or does it overall sell off over directly, we need to kind of stay above those previous lows here around 470, even for that potentially trading down to the 34 MA. So 487, 486 is in the works. It could happen, but we need to start seeing that volume zone oscillator start going higher on the positive chart, and as well potentially get some more just some more support levels, because we're seeing again a lot of chops this week, so it's going to be very difficult to play this one out. Send it says in AMD, full disclosure, I'm long in AMD. This one has also been very choppy, just like NVIDIA we just looked at, potentially looking for some support around the 74.50 level. But with the 21 EMA kind of breaking through the 5 and 8 coming through the 21 EMA and just kind of being choppy, and does not have been the world's greatest record. But again, just kind of in that purgatory. I'm used to being in this purgatory, and this basically just trading sideways. I know Ryan and other folks were trading this as well when we were just kind of just trading it around for a couple months, just in this really tight range, basically around the $50-ish to $53 range, and just continue just trading sideways, and finally paid out and really made that large move higher. Looking for this potentially even to play the same scenario. If we can start having this chop and potentially get through this chop and this kangaroo market that we're currently seeing, really hold that 74.50-ish range, even down to 73. I had it, or sorry, $70 as well to the support level. The long-term target is around $95 for AMD. Let's see here. Why is Kelly D the only female viewer, and is that your wife? No, actually my female viewers are at like 5%, so yeah. Disney sells a jewelry encrusted Mickey Mouse statue for $15,000. Sounds expensive, but that sounds awesome. If I have a great year, one year when I have my accounts over $1 million, I'll buy it. How would you know who is or who isn't female? Ryan's a hacker, man. That's another great meme I should add. It's a girl. That's funny. Okay. 5%, yeah. I can look. Let me look at the stats here. Well, I don't know if it's on 5% of the live streams, but if I can go to audience, and is it engagement? I always forget where they put that. Reach. Let's see here. Where is that? I never look at these analytics on it because it's kind of somewhat always depressing. They say one thing and the other, and it's like, oh, your channel's blowing up, and then the stuff never updates. I can't find where it is actually. Again, I'm not an expert on these YouTube stuff here. Let's see here. Let's see, impressions, traffic, engagement. Oh, just got the thing saying could be attendance. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Oh, sorry, females is 3.4%. Yeah. Yep. 3.4%. Ryan, sorry, not 5%, 3.4%. Walter, what up, bro? Love your videos. Keep them up. Come, you're welcome, my friend. I bought the AMD Ryzen 9 3000X. It's fantastic. It's running 100. How? Where did you buy that? How much was that? Is that the five? That's well over $500. I've been. This sounds horrible, but I've been Intel forever. But now, since I haven't built a computer in a while, and my next computer build will definitely be an AMD chipset. MGM got hosed by Deutsche Bank. Downgrade. Great stock. Great books. I don't like, as being a German and being born and raised in Germany. Deutsche Bank go flip a coin. Like, forget you, Deutsche Bank. I really like MGM as well. Potentially looking for that move, kind of consolidating here. This is actually one of the first stocks that I bought on the dip here, basically buying around, I believe $7, not the low, but then rode it back up and then sold it here around 20-ish. But seeing this really kind of come through, this thing has been made a fairly strong recovery here. I haven't actually keeping too much of an eye on it, but this is one of those if you're in the space here, looking like at that 618, potentially some overhead resistance here at 2366. No squeeze or no earnings on the horizon, so that is a pretty tight consolidation pattern here at this level. Potentially, if we can get some more consolidation here and get any kind of momentum, would rather like to see a squeeze kind of setting up here to kind of boost us higher to that 2850 level. But this is a very interesting chart there as well, John. Great little recommendation there as well. Thank you. Face real is gonna make it worse, right? I think I will lose more than just female viewers on that one. Oh, 450. Okay, thanks for sharing. Send it. Too many people on YouTube try to pump and dump. What do you mean, Alpaca? NASDAQ futures down 1%, says Trevor. Well, they is, aren't they? They're down 1.27. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, I want to kind of give you what I potentially could look at within the old NASDAQ here. So we're going to be looking here at these. I don't want to look at, I'm going to share my shorter day time frame stuff. So we're looking here at this chart, which I don't show very often. This is a 15-minute chart, which I don't honestly look at, but I look at it just for like futures. So this is a 15-minute chart that is about 5 days, I think. Yeah, 5 days, 15-minute chart. I sometimes just go to an hourly chart to kind of give me a better perspective here. But this pattern does not look very good where we're currently at. Really kind of beaten down. We have this those are basically like the VWAP channels that are being broken here and just not looking very pretty here. And as well as here, we're going to be looking at this at an hourly chart, and this looks super beaten down, potentially looking for some support kind of coming in on the NASDAQ around this level here. So we're going to be putting this out here. So that is basically at 10,919. Oh, not above. I want to go below. I have it's a little late at or below. Looking for that to potentially hold there, but again, these are just printing red candles, so this looks like this could last for a little bit, and I don't suspect, unless the Chinese market or even the European market open up positive, this usually has some kind of a ripple effect. Again, we're looking for some chop, as long as this doesn't go to extreme levels. By extreme levels, again, is that we break that previous low and we close below those levels. We can touch that level, but we just can't close below it, because that's going to be a little bit too extreme, and that chop is basically would put us out of the market in that sense. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Definitely looking for a lot of that doesn't look too pretty, honestly. On that, again, I don't like to look at the 15-minute, 1 hour chart because it can enhance something that is basically really just too large and just overblows my overall thesis of things. Um, but that just kind of give me some sharing information there to kind of help you out there. You're welcome, Trevor. Alpaca says, my point is that the greatest strength to your videos is that your dry fact reading of the chart. Okay, well, thank you. You don't pump up stocks and act like a cheerleader and give the honest truth. Thank you, Alpaca. I appreciate that. DJ, so if you want to, so I normally don't short individual stocks, to be quite honest, because again, it's very difficult to timing, and you never know what the company can come out. It's actually quite wonderful just to go short futures if you have the ability to. It is very if your account allows it or your brokerage does allow it, you have the capital to do so. You can do it. It's not the most the favorite thing for me to do, but this is definitely a time and a place for it, especially on very volatile days. If you hold the futures for maybe 15, 30 minutes, even an hour at times, you can make a couple $100 really fast within a couple minutes. Sometimes I there's been some days where I've shorted futures at 5 in the morning and held it till like 9 or 10 a.m. and has made easy 2 or 3K on those trades. But those don't happen very often though. So be very mindful of that. Like futures trading is a little bit difficult. It's very volatile, but there is a lot of liquidity out there for you to able to do it. But again, my strength do not lie in day trading. I'm actually very slow at trading. My brain doesn't work very fast because this is the way it works. So, and I get a little bit too emotional when it comes to day trading because I just want to get my money and get out. I'm kind of I'm Violet from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where I want it and I want it now kind of scenario. So, day trading doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me at all. I don't watch the dollar very often, but I do. I understand it though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can trade the minis as well. So I have an account through Tastyworks, and they have their own like the minis are the way to go. The CME futures, for me, just on liquidity and so forth. But yeah, OCO. I don't know what OCO stands for, but I use brackets within Tastyworks. Um, Alpaca, can you explain the colored lines and what they mean on the chart? What colored lines are you talking about, Alpaca? Damn those typos. Um, let's see here. Will you stream tomorrow? I'm not sure. I'm not going to stream probably during the day, but I potentially will stream at night. So I like the reason I like to stream more because I like to interact with the people more. I think I can help you guys and help understand what I'm trying to proceed, and rather just make a video. I still do both factor back and forth, but I really do enjoy doing the live stream a little bit more because I get to interact and kind of get the full understanding of how people are feeling and going forth there. I'm surprised no one really talked about BA as well. BA is still in that purgatory level there, yeah. Yeah, the two purple lines, uh, dotted blue line, dotted blue line. What? So this is the 200 EMA alpaca. This is the 144 EMA. The white is the 55 EMA. The red is the 50 SMA. The orange is the 34 EMA. Yellow is 21. Purple is 8 EMA. And the white solid is the 5 EMA. The dash red line is the 50 SMA because that's the only SMA out of the whole chart that we're looking at, because that's the 50 SMA is basically what a lot of the folks who are just plain Jane technical analysis goes through there. Josh, you make a video on the settings on the upper studies tab. On this upper studies tab, this is something I paid for if you're talking about this. I also like the streams and the Wall Street Bets videos. Okay. Alpaca, if you want one of these charts, since you're a member, I can give it to you if you want me to. Do you use Thinkorswim? I forget if you said so. Ken, how long did it take you to monetize those? I don't even know. I think I started the channel 2.5 years ago, maybe. It took me well over a year to get the channel fully monetized, I think. Can you show us a good looking chart where things are lining up? Alpaca says. A good looking chart where things are lining up. The one that really comes to mind was Zillow initially. So Zillow was something where we had a burst higher coming back down. It was trading between the 21 and 34, which I like to see. And then it had a squeeze setting up. So that squeeze was setting up was a potential kick higher. And then once we saw that price move higher, we saw a lot of capitulation kind of coming in here and bouncing really off that 21 EMA and really took it to an all-time high. And then we talked about this low potentially being at $80, nice round number. I had that huge move kind of come in here and kind of really play this out. Another one that kind of comes to mind is, I think FedEx had a squeeze. No, it didn't have a squeeze. No, UPS currently has a squeeze. UPS has a squeeze kind of setting up here. A really strange one, but even though this kind of red candle is kind of throwing it off on my chart due to the fact, again, it moved up quite a bit due to the FedEx announcement that we just had. But looking for that to really just trade sideways here because we had that large move higher, and now we're seeing that really sideways action kind of come in here, holding that 21 EMA here, and really not really breaking below it. So what we're really looking for is a potential break higher to around that 170 to 175 to the upside. If that helps you. And then trying to think what else really comes to mind. Oh, Lennar was one. LEN. So this one is kind of currently setting up as well here, Alpaca. So we have the 5 and 8 moving average trading sideways, had a really strong earnings, kind of gave it back. It hasn't really broken below the 50-day. We have that squeeze setting up. It's trying to push higher. We have the RSI and volume zone both trying to explode to the upside. And then looking for that potential target in the near side at around $83.34. So this is one that I'm actually currently in, I think, to potentially hit that $83 in the short term there. No problem, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a great chap and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. Man, you guys are very active in chat today. Folks are helping other people. This is great. Do you see something similar with Workhorse, right? Alpaca. So Workhorse is trying. It was kind of setting up, but it was kind of it was really setting up here at this level. So my favorite thing to do Alpaca, my bread and butter, is basically has a huge run up and then potentially pulls back and consolidates and builds that nice base. I like to sit on my hands and potentially play out those bases because the longer the base, the larger the move could be. And we had that really large move base building here. Got in small into Workhorse, something large because again, it's a very speculative stock. Huge pop higher. Initially, target was around $25.48. Broke through that, potentially looking for the next target around $28.28. But as of right now, this move for me has already taken place, and I really I'm kind of behind the ball, so I'm not able to get on that. So I kind of have to just kind of sit on my hands and wait for a potential pullback to get there. I have my Workhorse selling at 38. Yeah, $38 was the very far-sighted target that we have at the 2618 there. But yeah, that's definitely a very far out target there. Charlie saying HD. Yeah, I haven't looked at HD. That's Home Depot, right? In a while. This is a little bit of chop here as well. Short term, looking at, we did some fib work here before, hitting some resistance at 286 here, potentially looking for some support to kind of come in around 278 to 277 in the short term, even down to potentially 272. But if this continues this chop, again, this is kind of the story of the week of, hey, we're looking for chop. We're going to be kind of just bouncing around here. We're not crashing in any sense of the matter. I think that we could be getting spooked coming tomorrow. But if the close kind of really goes positive into the close on tomorrow, like between basically 2:30 to like 4 o'clock, we get some bulls coming in. We could really see some move higher. So Ryan, I was actually doing a video, which I don't want to bash other people and criticize folks, but I think I need to start doing it. I just can't trust Weeble. No offense to them, like I would rather have Robinhood. I know like everyone and their mother uses it because it's like, hey Ken, it's a great referral code. You get 2 free stocks, free money. I'm like, I can't let people sign up for that. Like I don't think it's a good product. I can't do it. I was trying to work on a video, but I didn't post it because I didn't want to be negative towards the other folks in the industry. Hey Ken, what are your favorite mindset business philosophy books? I am reading Flow right now, and it's amazing. Business mindset books. So one of my favorite business books that I can honestly remember that I just listened to. I listened to a lot of audiobooks because I'm dyslexic. I listened to Shoe Dog, which was the story of Nike. Fantastic book. I'm trying to think what I just listened to as well. Let's see here. I'm pulling up my Audible subscription here. 1 second. I have so many books on my Audible. It's not even funny. Other book that I just read that I was like, it's not coming to my mind. Ride of a Lifetime. That's from Bob Iger, the former CEO of Disney. That was a really good book. I like that a lot. For business mindset, he's really cool. And I'm currently reading The Wizard, which is the story and biography of Nikola Tesla, which is the inventor, not Nikola, the car truck failing company, or Tesla, the company as of right now. But again, those companies are named after this individual, which is basically one of the greatest inventors of all time. So guys, chat is moving so fast today. Sorry, man. Things are moving like a. Get sponsored by Audible? Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but I can figure it out, I guess. I really do love Audible. Do, do, do. When is Robinhood IPO? I don't know. I know that Airbnb is going to be the next potential and larger IPO. Walter says, what do you think about GME? Um, GameStop has, again, a large move today. If it can break $9.60, that's going to be a large move, even to $10. But I don't understand why this move honestly happened. I think it was just due to the overall some upgrades. Kind of somewhat, I don't know how why are so large. But this thing really kind of just took off again, hit that $9.60 range, potentially even to $11.77. But I think this is potentially a very large move to the upside, and I would be very careful here. For me, I can't honestly touch this because I just don't know. I just don't know the business. I'm like, I'm somewhat of a gamer, and all my games are literally on Steam, or I just download them via the internet, just from EA Play button, whatever all the other apps that I have, Smorgasbord on my computer. They're just all digital now. Unless I don't, if I want to buy a cosplay doll, I would go to GameStop. I don't know. I'm sorry, chat is going super fast. Thank you guys for everyone for joining. Audible is the best. I wish. Well, Audible is owned by Amazon now. I would have loved to own their stock. Listen to Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. It's about Chris Jackson. Curtis Jackson. Okay, that's cool. Thank you. Thanks for the recognition. Brian says, can you look at Shop? Interested in doing some longer calls? Yeah, I would recommend longer dated options on this one because again, this one is really getting beaten up here, without a doubt. So, really seeing that movement here. Let me go the retracement, swing high to swing low. Really looking for that 916. Really looking for that $900 to hold. It really didn't, and that floor kind of came out underneath it. It's really kind of going into like no man's land right now, and a little bit on a wouldn't call it a free fall, but it is down. We got down 5% today, so it's a little bit of uh, a lost ship because we're seeing the 5 and 8 moving averages kind of trading sideways, and they're all still pointing to the aggressively to the ground. So this is definitely it's gonna be hard for me to tell you to nibble on it because again we broke below those previous lows here, but we also have done that with other different stocks like Amazon as well, that really kind of opened to the downside there. Looking for that potential. If we can get back above 900 tomorrow, and kind of sees how it plays out, but this is kind of a very extreme selling going on here. I don't know if it was a downgrader or just people kind of getting out, but I think Shopify is still here to stay. I think it's a great overall company, but the stock has taken on a little bit of damage here, and we could see some potential downside. If this can really continue, we're basically looking for around 800 to 773 for Shop there. So, but if we can get some consolidation here around 900-ish and start getting some kind of chop around that level, I would love to see that as well. Potentially start getting that base building to start building it back up to well over 1,000. Ken, you need to start expanding to the female market. I don't know how to do that. Push Ulta. I'll push Ulta and Starbucks and whatever else. I don't know. Boomer Video Store. Michael Burry favorite. I know Michael Burry does love his S10 or whatever filings was pretty large. He has large options plays in that company. I forget what else he had. Some really large options play as well. D Sony 21 saying GME is developing a vaccine. That's funny. BA, what's up, Vincent? How you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. With BA, this thing, again, it's still in this purgatory box, just kind of trading sideways, really not doing much of anything, and looking for, again, with the overall market and kind of see how it plays out. We have some short-term support basically around 155, the lower end of this box. So if we start seeing some breaking lower of those points, we could easily come back down to around like the 140 to even the 135 level. But as long as it's staying in this box, we're just looking for a continuous chop, as we talked about for this week, potentially on all stocks with the triple witching of just having chop, 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 and looking for that potential move higher to around 185. I'm not in BA. It's going to be a little bit difficult for me to get into the position because I do have some longer dated options in Jets. Because it's going to be hard to pick one definitive winner within the airline industry or the overall cohort of the airplane stuff. Even though BA does a lot of defense stuff as well, which I actually like Northrop Grumman the other day. But yeah. Hope the old market pulls the old switcheroony. Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. I think that we could be down a little bit tomorrow in the open, which is actually, I like how things go. I don't like to see when we open up like super, super, all the bulls are dancing and things like that, and everyone's just buying, buying, buying. So everyone just at the open just going crazy, crazy, crazy. I think that they kind of really just gives away the position of the bulls, and usually the bears can easily come in and just smack and make our day not happy. I rather like a gradually down day tomorrow potentially, and then slowly grind higher with the old bulls really kind of coming in there. We hit the bottom and rocket. I think initially not the bottom, but we are building a base here basically around the 2250-ish level to around the 2350 level, kind of just trading sideways here and potentially looking for some consolidation here, and hoping for the 5 and 8 moving averages to slowly to curl to come parallel to the longer dated averages. Again, I never want to call a bottom because that's basically kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Anything can happen, but there's a base building here. If this really does break to the downside, we're basically looking for basically 2157 to the downside. But with this movement here, we're basically looking for, again, I'm going to call it triple bottom here. I don't like to put names on things, but looking for some consolidation around these levels, and then potentially base building to kind of start getting ourselves a ways higher. Because again, I think the overall housing play is really intact, and I think this should be able to get a nice little chunk out of that there. Mm-hmm. What's a good stock for guns and ammo and Trump wins? Oh, Smith and Wesson, probably Alpaca. Smith and Wesson or one of these other, whatever the Winchester rifle stock one is. Yeah, makeshift said Smith and Wesson. I forget the ticker symbol for that. Both my leaders lost their jobs at Boeing, and it's a mass in the Jet City. I'm sure it is. That sounds terrible. Uh, buddy, I know worked at BA a lot. Of his coworkers were buying the dip at 380. Ugh, ugly. That's a big gulp. Raid Shadow Legend. Oh, makeshift. If they ping me and they have to give me a lot of money for me to do a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. That's got to be well over 100K. I'm not selling out. Um, he was telling them not to buy the dip, but they knew better. Wow, interesting. Yikers. That was, yeah, BA came from a very large downward move. Like, even with those, the two crashes, oh, sorry, I was yawning here, that we had, we really saw that large downticks here. But then we had the literally the crappiest CEO that they ever had. It just really just fell out of the sky, lack of better words. Um, Inspired Mind, ACI. What's ACI? Oh, Albertson. Albertson, the grocery store, man. I don't know. This is definitely one that's been really beaten up, and the fibs honestly don't really help here. Um, since the stock's only been out for about, like, what has it been, 2.5, 3 months almost. It's just kind of been trending down. Would like to see, even with his last quarter, didn't do very well. I would probably need to see 2 or 3 more quarters to kind of see. I don't have an Albertson in my area, so I don't familiar with it on how what they offer and how they do things. But the stock doesn't look good right now. I know it's kind of potentially could be beaten down, but as I ever remember right, this is the third or fourth time a private equity firm has taken this public, and it has had issues multiple times. So I can't honestly touch this right now. Josh is saying, I'm going to be making a fortune this October selling MAGA and Biden flags, and it will be going into my toss and square leaps. Do you sell something on eBay, John? Or John? Calls on Karens. Does everyone agree that Slack is better than Teams? I agree Slack is better than Teams, but it's not cheaper than Teams. That's what it comes down to over a business. Since you're already paying for Office 365 accounts, that being said, it's usually substantially cheaper because, again, even at the companies that I've seen and where I work for, it's just not worth it. What's APHA, Alexander? Um, this one looks like just kind of consolidating. This is an interesting play here. I'm not sure what industry this is in, um, but we're looking for some really tight consolidation here, especially here around the $4.60 range. If we can get that squeeze to fire, we're potentially looking for a nice little pop here. Let me do a quick fib here. Yeah, we're really in this really tight range between 435 and basically $5, kind of just trading sideways. If we can get that pop higher, well above $4.92, that can easily go to 572 to even 675 on that move. This is definitely interesting. And then even down to that, if it starts breaking to the downside, we're looking for around $4.35 there. So yeah. Oh, it's a pot stock? Oh, I can't touch it. Can't touch it. Albertson's a pretty nice grocery store. It's out west. Wegmans is still better though. I love Wegmans, Dan. Wegmans is so good. Albertson botched a deal, Safeway deal in our area, and ended up losing a third of all the groceries. Ugh, that sucks. I'm still on JR. John R. What's up, my friend? What's 15% short interest? That could be considered a squeeze, but again, if it's a pot stock, if it's in that industry, it's super difficult, especially in the United States, because again, you have to understand like it's how do they are able to make money? It's still illegal for them to literally have a bank account under federal account. So yeah. Let's look at the futures and then we'll start looking at the winding down here, getting a little bit late. I'm gonna be looking at doing probably a YouTube video tomorrow, posting something about maybe Wall Street bets or something. I was thinking about doing a Karen ETF. What stock should I put into like a Karen ETF? I was thinking about making a new potential like a weekly series of like different ETF of just making them funny names like very generic names, like do it like a basic Becky account. I've seen that before. I can do like a crazy Karen ETF account. Then I can do a YOLO Wall Street Bets account. Just kind of do some funny ETFs and just really shared some different various stocks from that. When is pushing all the drug money? They're push all the drug money. Nicola. Alpaca says, look at Lulu. Lulu. Did that finally level off? Or just, ugh. Yeah, it's kind of leveling off here. We talked about that on the live stream, I think, on Sunday. Basically looking for 308 to hold. That was that next short-term bottom that we looked at. We are seeing the 5 and 8 moving out, just trying to start curling here and getting some slowing down in the momentum here. But we are not seeing any yellow momentum on the TTM squeeze it for potential making that movement there. Even though the RSI is starting to level off here, but the volume zone oscillator is still in very negative territory to the downside. So very difficult one to kind of trade there. Lulu is a Karen stock, yes. Good point there. That is correct, Josh. It's on Friday. I think Lululemon would be a little bit too higher end. I love Walmart though, man. I love Walmart. I don't go to Walmart, but I have been to. I like to. Oh, actually, I do like to go to my Walmart, but I don't think Walmart's as crashy. Rich white ladies equals Karen. I kind of agree with makeshift player. It's kind of they got a little bit of a twang to them. Do you think I might have an idea to make a funny ETFs? I'll try it. I'll see if the video does okay. Sorry, John. I'm sorry. I kill you, Josh. the chat's moving so fast, so I just see J-O, and then the chat moves. Sorry, John. I appreciate it's getting tired here, and I'm also dyslexic, so FYI. I don't know if you know that by the channel. Don't know what's popular hairdressers in the States. What's a popular hairdresser? I don't know. Oh, are you serious? I feel sorry for any person that's a good person that their name is Karen. Um, Daniel, what do you think about NVAX? Is that Novavax? Again, all these pharmaceutical stocks have been up quite a bit. It's going to be very difficult to choose a very top here. But again, I don't like to touch these. Basically looking for that move higher to around 123. Again, really making a potential V-shaped recovery here, looking for if it can break above 123.90, looking for 136, and really looking for the short-term goal around 150 potentially. But that being said, this thing has been, it's a pharmaceutical stock, so it's going to be very difficult, extremely difficult from my sense to potentially look for a movement higher. Yeah. But it's definitely going to be something that needs to kind of recover again. I don't know which stock is going to be better than which other. If it's going to be Modernum, if it's going to be SRNE, is it going to be Novavax, is it going to be Pfizer, is it going to be Johnson & Johnson? Like, I think they're all going to have to work somewhat together to kind of play that out. But yeah, this definitely looks like it's potentially trying to bounce here. But again, it's going to be very difficult to play because, again, any negative news or whatever, or failed of test or whatever, can just bring this right back down. My sister's name is Karen. Can you look at a day trade ideas for workhorse? I can alpaca, but I don't do very good with day trades because a lot of things can kind of come into fruition and really break out there. So for day trade, I'm going to go into my day trading tab here on the hourly chart. And nothing too really is coming out here on workday. We're basically looking for a lot of consolidation around $22.90. And then even the consolidation around $25.55. Even though in after hours trading, we're trading up to around the 27 range. So we're kind of in the middle between the $28.80 and even to the $25 move here. But we can easily see that potential support level kind of coming in on the short terms around the 25.48 to the downside, if that helps anything there, alpaca. You says, what do you think about Wells Fargo? WFC. So I'm banks are kind of starting making a somewhat of a comeback. I'm in XLF and then Bank of America, longer dated leaps. What I'm already in love, John, with my wife. So luckily her name's not Karen, so I'm okay with that. With that, looking for that large move higher, it's potentially trying to break out here. Especially with one of the more beaten down stocks, especially the whole financial industry has not been performing very well. We're really hitting that top here, which we've hit multiple times around 25.83 and kind of gave it all back. That was a potential top that we hit multiple times. Looking for if this can break with that squeeze, potentially firing us higher because it looks like it wants to get us to up again above that 25.83 to that $27 level. Initially, really would love to see it around the 30 to 31 level to really start breaking the overall downward trend that we have seen, and especially in this stock. And then you said CVS. I'm hoping once the asset cap gets lifted next year, it will recover long term. Yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of in the same boat. So CVS is definitely one stock that's also been somewhat beaten up here. We're looking for, again, this has been kind of really falling extremely sharply. We are in very early stages for a potential early signs of a bottom. We're looking for around the $58 price target, potentially start bottoming here around the 57. Again, by early, I mean we're still bouncing off the lower end of the RSI, and the bottom zone also are starting to come back here, but looking for around the $58 to potentially to hold on CVS there to the downside. Leo, what do you think about Uber? John, thank you for always the nice comments. I appreciate that. Uber. Yeah, Uber's looking for that overhead resistance around $38 to $39. Since we do have that momentum really kicking us higher, we have failed here not multiple times, just one time, and really gave it all back. Not saying history has to repeat, but it does rhyme. So just being mindful of that level here, we really need to start seeing a lot of strength really kind of come in here, even though we're selling off just a little bit and after hours trading, nothing too crazy, but coming in tomorrow, could see some more chop. Initial short-term support is going to be around $35.84 and even down all the way to around $34.17 and stronger support around $32.30. But if this can break and really break through, we're looking for price targets around $41.86. Thoughts on shorting DDS? So I do horrible just shorting straight individual stocks, but I can see what you're looking at here, potentially hitting a wall of resistance around $34.50 to $35. But with the news that we just had and a lot of that movement here, I think that we could get a potential just trading sideways here around the $35, $34. But for me to short this, we need to start seeing this start leveling off here some more and potentially having the 5 and 8 start curling over into the 21. Since we already have the parabolic SAR still up below the chart, the ticks, we're seeing that support kind of come in here as well. Looking for that potential break below 32 to 31.50. We can easily see some downside pressure coming in once around that time frame. CVS, I don't think CVS, I don't know what the dividend is on CVS. You could probably potentially sell Leo some calls on that to get some premium, without a doubt on that one. Guys, on that note, thank you everyone for coming out. Oh shoot, I didn't add the. I'll give you guys this one. This nice little, I like that one. Thank you everyone for coming out here. Yeah, I think Mr. Bear is short on Mr. So Mr. Bear, we're gonna give him that one there. But that being said, getting a little tired here. My brain's working at 3.2% capacity, just the amount of female viewers that I have as well. If you guys have any friends or friends that are females, I would appreciate some more female viewership to the channel. So let them know. I think I'm a pretty decent, nice person, and I think it's pretty nice and an equal opportunity for folks to learn about stocks and charts. Even though it's kind of a sausage fest sometimes, but definitely interesting times. Anyways, all joking aside, everyone, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing, I'm working on the Karen ETF video potentially, or even the potential idea of some Wall Street bet stuff if there's some crazy snow stories coming out there. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and you guys have a wonderful evening and a great night, and I'll see you guys in the AM. Peace.